morning, boys and girls. Happy day 34. So I'm going to continue reading the Girl in the Locked Room. Now, yesterday when we read, I thought it was a really great chapter because we really got an idea of what happened to Lily and what the circumstances, were that led her to become locked in that room. It made me feel so sad for her, knowing that, she knew something was wrong. But she had these questions about, why didn't my parents come back for me? And, not knowing what happened to her parents. And it's just very sad story. So now we're going to read chapter 23. We're going back to Jules. So let's see what happens next. When we looked at the last picture, Maisie turned to me and said, "The drawings tell what happened the night Lily's mother and father were killed. If she hadn't hidden in the room, Lily would have been killed too." I reached for Maisie's hand, and she gripped mine tightly. The shadows darkened and closed in on us. For a moment, I felt as if we were trapped just as Lily had been. I shared her fear and loneliness. I understood what it was like to wait for someone who never came, to be locked in a room while outside. The world went on, years passing, season after season, coming and going. To hear the horses galloping out of the night, ridden by killers who were searching for you. Behind us, something creaked, and the spell broke. We turned to look at the wardrobe. Still holding hands, we crept closer. "Lily?" I called. "Don't be afraid." No one answered. "Do you remember the day we saw each other? We were in the field near the stream, where the willow tree is. You looked right at me and asked me to help you." "You saw me?" Maisie and I stared at each other in disbelief. Lily had answered us. She was here in the same room as we were, hiding in the wardrobe, close enough for us to hear her whispery voice. "What did I look like?" She sounded frightened. It was an odd question, but I answered it the best as I could. "Like the pictures your father painted of you. A pretty little girl with long yellow hair, wearing a blue dress. You are as solid as I am real." Lily sighed, with what sounded like relief. I was scared I'd be ugly. Because, when she sees herself now, she sees that her dress is tattered and, she's kind of weathering away after being locked away for so long, being stuck in that room for over 100 years. So she was scared that she looked ugly, but she wasn't. "Ugly? How could you be ugly?" "Never mind," Lily said. "I saw you too, but I thought I was dreaming." "You asked me to help you," I said. "Do you remember?" "It was wrong of me to ask," Lily said. "I have fearful enemies, wicked men, fiends from the devil himself in search of me. They'll harm anyone who gets in their way." "But it's not just those men you need to fear," I told her. "Soon the workmen will start working on the 3rd floor. They'll rip out everything. You won't have a door or a wardrobe to hide in. You'll have to find another safe place to stay." "You don't understand," Lily said. "I promised Mama I'd stay here until she and Poppy came for me. I can't disobey them." "Lily, do you know why your mother and father haven't come?" I asked. Lily was silent for so long I thought she'd never answer, but at last she said, "Yes, I know why, but a promise is a promise, isn't it? It would be wrong to disobey. Your parents didn't want you to stay in this room forever, Lily." I laid the key on the floor near the wardrobe. "The door is unlocked. Come with Maisie and me. You can't stay here. We'll find a new hiding place." "Please don't lock your door, Lily," Maisie begged. "Meet us tomorrow in the field by the willow tree. You know the place. We'll keep you safe," I promised. Lily was quiet again. It would be nice to sit under the willow again and watch the minnows and the jerry bugs in the stream. So she's thinking about, her former life and how it would be so nice to go back there. "Then come meet us, Lily," I said. "We'll find a way to help you." She paused to think about what we'd told her. At last she said, "I'll meet you tomorrow, I promise." Her voice shook, but she sounded as if she meant it. We pressed our hands against the wardrobe door and whispered, "Goodbye." "We'll see you tomorrow, Lily. Don't worry, you'll be safe with us." We ran down the stairs and through the house. In my haste, I tripped over an extension cord and landed on my hands and knees. Maisie helped me to my feet. With a bleeding knee, I hobbled into the addition and the safety of our kitchen. Once I bandaged my cut and we were safe in bed, Maisie asked, Where are we going to hide Lily? I took a deep breath. I have an idea. I looked at her, worried about her reaction. If you promise not to laugh, I'll tell you. Maisie stared at me. I won't laugh, I promise. I smoothed the Band-Aid on my knee. You might think I'm crazy. I don't know. But remember when you told me about some people believe alternate worlds might really exist? Maisie frowned. Yes, but... Well, what if Lily could go to a different world, a world where her parents didn't die, and neither does she? Maisie thought about it. But the world where she doesn't die, she said slowly, can't exist until she changes what happened that night. Suppose she didn't hide, I said. Suppose she came downstairs and saved her parents. So what I'm thinking right now, and I could be wrong, but I'm just making a prediction. You know how every night she hears those galloping men, and she hears the pounding on the door, and she hides in her wardrobe, and she nuzzles in next to her mother's clothes, and she buries herself, and she doesn't leave until the next morning, and that happens every night. Well, maybe, just maybe, one night she'll open that door, and maybe that will allow her to change what happened. How interesting would that be? But that's just a prediction, so we definitely have to keep reading to find out. Suppose she didn't hide, I said. Suppose she came downstairs and saved her parents. Like she got a gun and shot Mr. Bailey and Elias Dixon, Maisie said. I can't see Lily doing that. How about she spills a big bag of marbles on the floor and the men slip on them and fall and her father gets their guns and calls the police? What if Lily doesn't have any marbles? Maisie frowned and ran a hand through her hair. Okay, Jules, what do you think she should do? In the picture story, Lily drew a woman outside with the horses. That was Aunt Nellie, remember? She's the one who cries out on the nights I hear the horsemen. Maybe she'd help Lily. Yes, Maisie said. Lily can run out of the house and cry for help. And the woman can fetch the sheriff or stop the men or something. Do you think it will work? I hope so, I said. I can't think of anything else, can you? No, Maisie whispered. Exhausted, we tried to sleep. Above us, Lily's window was dark, but I sensed her pacing around her room, frightened, confused, and worried. She must not know what to do. Stay and obey or leave and disobey. For the first time, I realized what I'd asked Lily to do. She hadn't been out of the room for more than 100 years. It was all she knew. Her safe place. Leaving it must terrify her. No mother, no father to comfort her. No familiar places for her to take shelter from Mr. Bailey or Elias Dixon. Maybe it was wrong to ask her to gamble her life on a crazy idea that might not work, but what else was she to do? In the other bed, Maisie was snoring softly, but I was still awake, and the morning light crept through the skylight and chased the shadows from their corners. All right, so we learned about this plan that Jules has to try to somehow get Lily to change her future and maybe unlock some type of door to an alternate universe where everything is going to be fine. So Lily has a choice to make. She can either stay in the room and just end up staying in there forever, or she can take a chance. If she takes a chance, chances are maybe it will work. Maybe she will somehow get back to her parents, or maybe it won't work, but it's worth taking the chance. But if she stays in the room, she'll never know what would happen. So I want you to think about, what do you think she's going to do? So if you want, you can write in the comments, do you think Lily's going to leave the room and go to Jules and Lily, or Jules and Maisie? Or do you think she's going to decide to stay in the locked room? Just put your comments in the comments section, your predictions of what you think is going to happen in the story next. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.